Botalz on for an interview here after that heartbreaking defeat. Botalz, can you hear me, my friend?
Yeah, I can.
So sorry for the loss that you just took to Gengar there, but it was incredibly close. How do you feel right now? It must not be very great.
Not the best, certainly. I mean, I wish I could have played better because this match kind of decided a lot of the standings because we're in a four-way tie right now for third spot. But I believe mathematically there's still a chance. I haven't done the math yet because I'm a bit sad, but I think there's still a possibility where I get out of group. So I have to, stay focused because if there's a chance, then I have to take it. So
Yeah. I believe the highest possibility is if you win your next week match 2-0. I think it's probably the best way to do that. But there still is, I think, a scenario where everybody can be tied 2-3 or something like that, in which case you would still be in the running, I think. But that Shadowcraft match aside, which was just insane, let's talk a little bit about you as a player. I mean, we've gotten to talk kind of briefly, but I've never gotten to ask you questions like how you got into Shadowverse or competitive card games, or like, where are you from? Who is Botalz?
Well, I'm from Vietnam, and I came here to study in the States. So currently working right now. It's not nothing too fantastic about that. I play a lot of card games in the past. I play Magic the Gathering, play Yu-Gi-Oh! I went to the Pro Tour Magic, and I didn't agree with some game decisions. I also play Hearthstone a little bit, but I found Shadowverse, and I'm a big anime fan. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of like Shadowverse, but the Evo mechanic is so much, it's so cool. It's so anime-like. I'm like, oh yeah, let's just play this game. It's very free too, so I'm glad I tried it. And it has the style that I always play in card games, potentially known as Seraph. When I play card games, it's a lot of combo control style.
Sure.
Not so much D-shift, as in like you win all in the combo. It's more about winning. You have most of the time you win through control game plan, but you have a combo as a side plan, and it's really that's like my favorite play style. So I'm glad Shadowverse had it, and I support that play style. And so I played it a lot. Certainly not in the round robins, just because everyone put a gun at that deck when they play versus me. So
yeah. Well, of course. I mean, I was a little upset and shocked that you didn't launch your Tier 0 deck today. Care to comment about that? How has the popularity, where has it gone? Is it not Tier 0 anymore? What happened?
I wish it was Tier 0. It takes some time.
Yeah, the meta needs to develop. It's gonna show up eventually. Yeah. So you're a competitive card gamer all around, and you've been doing really well in the Shadowverse Open. Talk to me about your preparation, and how did you even get to this point as kind of a card gamer? Like, what does Botalz do in terms of like a competitive player to prepare for these events, to put himself in the mindset? How are you so successful at what you do?
I wouldn't call it successful, but every time. So since losing to Vetu, I have not won a competitive match, and that was 3 weeks ago.
Oh no.
So it's been hurting. But the main reason why I like competitive card games is mostly, when I first got into Shadowverse, same with Magic, same with Hearthstone. When I first got in it, I accepted the fact that I was gonna lose a lot. Like, I'm gonna lose today, that's okay. I'm gonna lose tomorrow, that's okay. In 3 months' time, I might get my first win. That's progress, And I got a little bit faster start than most people because I have a card game background, so it plays somewhat to my advantage. But certainly you can't win them all and you can't lose them all, and that's how I approach a lot of card games. And I kept keep myself. You're gonna lose today. You're gonna lose tomorrow. Eventually, you find a win, and eventually you keep working. You get better at the game, and the practice shows. Obviously, not so much for me recently. What I do to prep is I play on ratings app against a lot of the Japanese players, to mostly to fish out the meta and to find what I can play. And I got a little bit too greedy because I was prepping for the top 12 match, where like, when the let's say top 6 match instead of like singularly prepping.
Right.
Because I'm like, if I get through this round robin and I flash out my gameplay of Seraph, I can most likely go the distance.
Yes.
Certainly didn't work out today. So.
Well, we'll see. Maybe you still have the chance, and that is a incredibly admirable way of looking at competition and growth and self-improvement. Certainly applicable to things beyond just Shadowverse and competitive card games in general. And of course, like we mentioned at the start of the interview, there maybe is a chance that you'll get into this top 6 still, even with a 2-3 scoreline. So really cool, really interesting to hear that. Anything that you would like to shout out to either CPV, who you've been in that team for a long time now, right? Or family, friends, or anything like that?
Well, shout out to my team mostly, and a lot of Shadowverse community, notably people who host tournaments. I appreciate them a lot. I host some tournaments and I've done some casting, and it's a lot of hard work. And the best thing you can repay them is join tournaments. That's like what everyone could do, because if you join tournaments, you give them the satisfaction of hosting a lot of tournaments, on top of giving them a vision to say, oh, they can keep doing this, cheering them up. And it's also free, so I don't quite understand why players are so afraid of that. Maybe they're afraid of losing, but they have to understand it's okay to lose. You have to understand that, and you can't win every game, just as you can't lose every game. So approach it with a humble perspective, and you probably will be successful somewhere in between. Maybe in the future, maybe you're a fast learner and you got right away and win the championship. Who knows?
Well, Botalz, that was some amazing things to think about and to think through. Thank you so much for taking the time, especially after your loss, talking with me and kind of sharing that with all the viewers here. I really appreciate that, and good luck for week 5, and I hope to see you in the regional finals if you make it. That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's talk more some other time, but that was Botalz, and I